Welcome to part 1 of the 500 sub special. Part 2 is dropping next Thursday at 1 p.m. And today, for part 1, the first time I've ever done this on the channel, Q&A, baby. So I let you guys give me some questions, anything you'd like me to answer for you guys. And we got a decent amount of questions from, different platforms. YouTube mainly. We have one from Snap, a couple from TikTok. I don't think any from Instagram. But we're going to be answering these questions for y'all today, just so I can kind of make y'all feel included with the channel, because I want the viewers to feel like they are a part of this community that we're building here on The Brady Show. And yeah, let's get into these fucking questions, baby. We got TikTok, baby. The first comments that I got, Carl the Human off TikTok. I got some weird ass questions, man. How many Twizzlers can I fit up my urethra? All right, Carl. Listen, man, I don't eat Twizzlers. And if I ever were to eat Twizzlers, it would be Twizzlers nibs. But I honestly believe, the dimensions of Twizzlers, I'm trying to calculate this in my head here. Honestly, bro, if we're gonna estimate, I'm gonna say like 12. Before we move on to the next question, bro, my lights on my ceiling, I changed the light bulbs. They're white lights now. They're not yellow. It's gonna look so much better on my videos now. They're not white lights. I'm so excited, man. And also, peep out the fucking, that cool ass little poster back there. Shout out my boss. And if you want to know why I have that, you can check out my Freedom Day video on my other channel. So, Dr. Scorpion. I don't know if I'm saying that right because it's an X, but hey, Dr. Scorpion on TikTok. What's your favorite collectible item you have and why? All right, Dr. Scorpion. So my favorite collectible item I have in my collection, now all you guys know, if you've been with me for a while, I have plenty of sealed games. I have plenty of really cool, collectible, demo CDs and all that kind of juicy shit. But if I'm gonna say my most prized possession, in my opinion, it would have to be this right here. My Pepsi Man copy on PlayStation 1. Now, I bought this over 2 years ago. I've never played it once. Still to this day, I really want to. And, eventually I'm gonna figure out a way to play this. But this is just such a cool piece to have. Japanese only game based off of Pepsi, which honestly, Pepsi over Coke. Fight me in the comments, dude. This is just so cool, man. And I also paid $280 on this. And it's not even a sealed copy. So this is not only, my most favorite thing I have in my collection, my prized possession, but this is the most expensive game I've ever bought by far. I've maybe spent maximum $130 on a game, but never, dude, never 280. So if you've ever seen my shelves that I have up there, kind of just displaying the games, I have this one sprawled out in the bare ass open, mainly because I'm trying to show it off and it is the most prized possession I have. As well as, shout out my buddy Nick for getting me this Pepsi, Japanese Pepsi bottle, which sadly doesn't have any liquid in it because when he was traveling on the airplane, he couldn't bring the liquid. But this is super cool, guys. And now here's the only question I got from Snapchat from Eva. Shout out you. I know you watch the vids. How much wood a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Bro, straight up, infinity. Next up, we got a comment from my boy, Jedi Jared on YouTube. If y'all like Lego content, you can go ahead and subscribe to him or go peep out the vids that he does. He does a lot of Lego content. And he asked me, what is the best level of any Lego game ever? Straight up, man, I'm gonna have to say the Lost Temple from Lego Indiana Jones. That's the best level in any Lego game ever. It's not my favorite necessarily, but it is, if we're gonna say all around, it's the best level all around in all of Lego gaming. It's such a cool opening to the game. Now, if you saw my ranking every level in Lego Indiana Jones video, you know that I didn't put that on number 1, but this isn't my favorite level in the game. The Lost Temple's not my favorite. It's my second favorite. But if we're gonna say, in general, what's the best level in any game, Lego game, I'm gonna say Lost Temple, man. even though I still like Into the Mountains, you know, just a tiny bit more, I'm gonna have to say for like the average general audience, The Lost Temple is the best. Oh shit, we did get a couple from Instagram. All right, my bad. We got 2 from Instagram. We have aob.eb, and he asks, balls. Might be a shock to some of y'all, but yes, I'm sorry. Also, I love your profile picture. I'm just gonna tell you guys, next week's part 2 of the subscriber 500 sub special has something to do with that profile picture. I'm just letting you know. Next up, we have a regular on the channel. I be seeing you in the streams, my boy. I be seeing you in the comments, and I appreciate that shit a lot. Huge Jazz. Listen, I'm gonna butcher a shit ton of these names. I'm sorry. Like, I know you're a regular, but I still don't know how to pronunciate your name. So he says, I got a question. How'd you get into making PlayStation/PlayStation 2 videos and content? I know you've been doing videos for a while. Do you think you'll stick with these consoles and type of content, or will you branch out into other consoles or topics? I think a video on the PSP could be really cool. So yes, for the most part, I do PlayStation 1/PlayStation 2 content on this channel. You already know that. And occasionally Nintendo 64. But mainly because those are the consoles that I grew up playing. I grew up playing Nintendo 64, PS1, PS2, and that's kind of what this channel is centered around, kind of what my childhood, you know, consoles were like. And I know a lot of people have played plenty of different shit, you know, like the OG Nintendos and the GameCubes and the fucking Sega Genesises and all that shit. I know I said that wrong. You know, just leave it in, dude. I'm not gonna edit that out. So even though, you know, I love to make videos about my childhood consoles, which is, you already know. Yes, we are gonna be branching out at some point. I definitely do want to start trying to collect for another system that I don't even have. I think it'd be interesting because, of course, I love to collect for PS1 and PS2 and Nintendo 64 as well. I want to do more, you know what I mean? So yeah, I do plan on branching out. Don't even worry about it. So you asked, do you think I'll stick with these consoles? No, I'm gonna definitely try to do some other videos when it comes to, you know, other retro gaming consoles, because this is a retro gaming channel. This isn't just a PlayStation 1/PlayStation 2 channel. It's a retro gaming channel, man. So yeah, I do plan on branching out and seeing if I can try to start collecting for something else. If you know a good new console that I could start collecting for that's, you know, considered retro, let me know in the comments, because I'm trying to look into that a little bit more. And then you asked me, do you think I'm gonna stick with these consoles and type of content? So this type of content I usually do is just straight up retro gaming. A lot of it is reviews. Occasionally I do skits on the specials, you know, like last year's Christmas special, which is one of my favorite videos I've ever made. So it's like reviews, skits, and that kind of fun, juicy shit. Yeah, I do think I'm gonna plan to stick with this kind of content when it comes to retro gaming. I do think I'm gonna just center the channel around retro gaming, of course. But yeah, I do want to branch out to more consoles, of course, and see how that goes. But yeah, man, thank you for that fucking question, man. Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to say this. I also have Nintendo DS games. I don't know how well you can see it up there, but I have Nintendo DS games. I would love to as well make videos about DS, like old ass DS games. Like, dude, there's so many DS games that I want to talk about on this channel, but the thing is I don't have a capture card for a DS. So I do at some point want to plan on that, as well as I want to get a Game Boy Advance SP, dude. Because one of my buddies from my childhood had a Game Boy Advance SP, and I remember playing Tomb Raider on it. But man, I really want a Game Boy Advance SP, and potentially we can make Game Boy videos and DS videos. That's something that I would really like to do because, you know, as well, DS is my childhood, bro. I just need to get a capture card for that so I can start, you know, filming gameplay, and who knows, maybe we'll even do playthroughs of it too as well. And you know, and in addition to, like, you know, the skits and the reviews, I do playthroughs of games every once in a while in here too. So that's another thing. But yeah, anyways, moving on. Next question from Instagram, the final. I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna try to read that name. Balls. Yeah. Okay, my boy God Poseidon has been blessing me with a bunch of questions. I'm sorry I keep looking this way. I know someone in the comments before said, you know, I should keep eye contact with the lens of the camera, which I try to do for the most part, but, you know, if I look away sometimes, it's just me trying to. I feel like it'd be weird if, like, the whole entire video I'm just staring into your soul. You know what I mean? So me to kind of look around and do all that shit, I hope it doesn't bother you. Anyways, my boy God Poseidon, he's a regular on the channel as well. Where is Ethan? Now, just for some lore here on The Brady Show, this channel used to be called The Ethan Show. And the main guest was Ethan, of course, that's his name. And he was basically the co-host of the show alongside me. I was the host. And we would get into some stupid fucking adventures. He'd get murdered a lot of times. One time he jumped out of the car window. Another time he got stranded in Puerto Rico and he got eaten by Joey's World Tour. He got fucking cooked like a fried chicken. What's another time Ethan died? He got exploded. When we were at my buddy Nick's house, there was a shootout and he ended up, you know, joining in the shootout and going crazy, but he ended up dying and exploding from a rubber chicken. So Ethan ended up saying that's enough, and he quit from the show mainly because of how many times he was getting brutally murdered. So that's the main reason why Ethan is no longer here with us. And just so you guys know, Ethan will be making some guest appearances coming up here. Next up from my boy God Poseidon, he asks, does Bo and Meatball fight? So as you can see, we have Bo in the back. Boom. Meatball's literally right off cam. Here, I'll show you Meat. Boom. There's Meatball right there. So as you can see, they're snuggled up like bugs in a rug right now. But yes, they indeed fight. And here's a funny story, man. I was running out of my room yesterday, literally last night. I was barefoot. I just got home from work. And I ended up stepping in a pile of shit and slipping on the ground. And I had dog shit on the bare bottom of my fucking foot, man. And it was the most disgusting thing I had to wipe off myself. And now he asks for the next question. Will we get a parkour clip for this 500 sub special? So, my boy God Poseidon, sad to say my parkour days are over. I did a lot of crazy shit back in high school. Like in high school was prime time for me when I was obsessed with doing parkour videos. And I would do POV, like I have a GoPro, I do like parkour POV videos and a lot of fun shit that I used to do back in high school. But I'm not gonna go out and do parkour. I mean, I don't do that anymore, man. And I'm sure I'm pretty good at it still because, you know, I used to go crazy back in the day, but definitely those days are behind me. And here's some more BR8DY lore for you guys. Me and my buddies back in high school would do overnight challenges. And I was obsessed with parkour and overnight challenges. So we did overnight challenges on my school rooftop. We did overnight challenges in, you know, the school construction zone when they were doing remodeling on the school. We did an overnight challenge there in the construction zone. And we did overnight challenges. One time I did one in an abandoned school. And all of these videos are on my other channel at BR8DY. They're all on my other channel if you're interested in that. But yeah, I used to do a lot of that back in the day. But no, God Poseidon, I'm not going to give you a parkour clip, but I probably am playing some footage of me and my old parkour videos on the screen right now, which you're enjoying right now. So yeah, those days are behind me, man. Next up from my boy, he says, craziest thing that you saw working at your old job or current job. So, at my old job, bro, it was crazy and it was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. So I was working at a bar and this old ass drunk lady, I was working in the kitchen of the bar. This old ass drunk lady came out into the kitchen and there was like, I wasn't a minor at the time, but there was other minors working alongside me. And she just flashed her old saggy tits, dude. And it was a sight to behold, I'll tell you that. And then we ran out the back door and like just started dying laughing. And then she came out after us and just started going crazy, like flashing and just like, oh my gosh, bro. It was so funny, man. Next up we got, can we get a preview of the never seen before intro of the Brady Show? All right, you guys, I'll give you the whole, you know what, just watch this shit.
Welcome to the Retro Gaming Show. My name is BR8DY, you already know. We review games either bad or good. By this point, I think you understood. BR8DY Retro Gaming Show.
So there you have it. That's the BR8DY show intro that I usually never ever use. Actually, I've never fucking used it before. But I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. And the final question from my boy God Poseidon. Once again, thank you so much for being a, you know, regular in the chats and in the comments and in just basically everything, man. I appreciate it. How big is it? On a good day, man, it's about 0.5 inches. All right, next up we have my boy Dominic. Shout out to my boy Dominic. Also, if you also want another reason to watch next week's part 2 special, my boy Dominic makes a guest appearance. Anyways, he says, "What's your max bench and how are you so sexy?" Listen, my max bench is 225. That's my straight up max that I've ever done in my entire life. I hit that, I believe, in October of last year. We hit 225 on the bench. And how am I so sexy? Listen, man, I don't know. I take my vitamins. Take your vitamins, kids. Next up, we have Jesse Easton fan. Are you a fan of Jesse Easton? Yes, I am a fan of Jesse Easton. What a stupid question to ask me. What an absolute stupid question to ask. Who isn't a fan of Jesse Easton? Let's ask that question. So yeah, my buddy Jesse has made a return to YouTube on his channel, Jesse Easton. You should 100% go check it out, man. Jesse Easton is one of the top tier, like literally god tier YouTubers of this generation. He is honestly on another level. So you should definitely go check him out. Jesse, if you're watching this, I love you, man. Your content has changed my life. Shout out my boy Noble Flow for this next question. What is your, well, actually there's two questions in one. What's your favorite PS1 demo disc of all time? That's just an instant, you know, answer. I know exactly what that is, and that is this one. The PS1 demo disc. As you can see right here, this is my all-time favorite demo disc, mainly because this is the one from my childhood, and as you can see, it is a sealed copy as well. This is from my childhood, man. The demos on here are fucking phenomenal. The menu theme song is amazing. And this, I just had so many good memories with this as a kid. And that is why this is my most favorite demo disc of all time. It is basic when you compare them to all the other cool ones, but this one is just something special, man. Something special, dude. And for part 2 of Noble Flow's question, he says, if you had to spend 1 week on an abandoned island, what 3 video game characters would you want to spend it with? Number 1, John Anderton from Minority Report, just in case we get invaded or the island gets overrun by like a tribe or something. John Anderton will literally whip them around like rag dolls. So number 1 is John Anderton from Minority Report. Number 2, hands down, has to go to Jimmy White. Just in case, you know, we ever are bored and we want to play a game of cue ball, Jimmy White will be there to make it entertaining for us. And number 3 would be the Village Dignitary from Lego Indiana Jones. The Lego version of the Village Dignitary, not the movie version, the Lego version. Mainly because he's, you know, an old ass man, and, you know, old men have, you know, crazy stories to tell. So he'd probably, for the entirety of the week, he'd probably be telling us about his childhood, about like how many crazy adventures he got into as a Village Dignitary. And he's honestly just the best character in that game. I mean, hands down. And we have another regular on the channel, Laba Luba. I be seeing you in practically every single stream, a shit ton of the videos, comments. Thank you, man. I appreciate that so much. And I hope you're enjoying the content. Can we expect reviews of PS3/Xbox 360 era games or newer from you? There's a lot of great games out there. I think there's no need to limit yourself with any particular time periods. So yeah, that is true. I'm not limiting myself, but this is in general, at the end of the day, excuse me, this is a retro gaming channel. Now let's say I start making videos about PS5 games. Now that's not retro gaming. That's something I wouldn't do. So I do honestly consider Xbox 360/PS3 retro gaming nowadays. I mean, it is. It's like over 10 years ago that those systems were released. It's honestly insane to me. So yes, Labaluba. I don't know about PS3 because honestly, I had an Xbox 360 growing up. So we might start with Xbox 360 and then move over to PS3 maybe once I end up collecting shit for those. But yeah, man, Xbox 360 was such a huge part of my childhood. And Labaluba, we ain't just gonna be doing these old ass systems. And like I said earlier, I am gonna try to branch out to other retro gaming consoles. And Xbox 360 was definitely on my mind with that. There was so many great games that I remember playing on that console that I think would be cool videos for the channel. So my boy Mark Hickman asked, have you been able to play or check out the pre-9/11 version of Enter Electro Spider-Man 2? I saw some other comments that suggest this version did get a physical release shortly before discontinuing. Not sure if they're only pirated or official prints. Just remembered a screenshot of a deleted scene with Thor, but the image quality is absolute dog shit. Just like me stepping in dog shit last night. So, I've never owned Enter Electro on PS1. I've only ever played it in that demo disc that I showed you earlier in the video, because there's a demo of Enter Electro. But I know for a fact that they were gonna have the final battle with Electro on top of the Twin Towers, but they ended up fucking removing it because of what happened at 9/11. But no, I've never been able to really check it out, what it was like before they changed it all. It's probably, honestly, pretty cool to say. And obviously, Thor's hammer, I think that's pretty cool to have as like a cameo or whatever in the Spider-Man game. And if you know, the first Spider-Man on PS1, they had Captain America in there, they had Daredevil, they had a lot of cool cameos from other Marvel characters, which is super cool. But nah, man, I've never been able to check it out, sadly. And sadly, once again, that concludes all the questions that we have for the first ever Q&A on the Brady Show. Don't you worry, we're gonna be doing more of these in the future once we reach bigger milestones. And yeah, man, thank you everybody who suggested a question. It means a lot to me. And I hope you stay tuned for next Thursday, where the real special of 500 subscribers drops. I'm telling you, dude, you're not gonna wanna miss it. It's gonna be a fun video. So yeah, man. Thank y'all once again for tuning in to another episode of The Brady Show. Thank y'all once again. And actually, you know, I'm sorry for fucking interrupting again. Here's one thing I'd really appreciate if y'all would do. Obviously you don't have to, of course, but help me get my watch hours up. So if you don't mind, like, going to check out some of my other videos, I'd really appreciate that, because I'm so close to getting monetized, bro. Less than 1,000 hours of watch time remaining in order for me to get monetized at 500 subscribers, which would be insane for me, honestly. So if you have the time or whatever and you enjoy the content, you know, I got plenty of playlists, plenty of variety when it comes to my videos and all that kind of juicy shit. So yeah, man, if you're interested, go ahead and peep some of it out. And I'm gonna leave you be now. Sorry for extending this video too long, but I know the real ones like to stay till the very end, which I appreciate. But check out my MacBook. It's fucking yellow right now. It's fucking yellow, bro. We'll see you next time. Next Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Be there. We'll see you then.